Welcome back. I'm Rick Blackwell in for Ed Berliner. 1 in 5 veterans returning from combat will suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, leaving them depressed, anxious, and in need of help adjusting to post-war life. The medical care offered by the VA or other organizations often isn't enough to help. An estimated 22 veterans every single day lose their lives to suicide. Our next guest experienced the emotional and physical spiral of PTSD after 3 combat tours and set out to help himself and others suffering from traumatic brain injury. Welcome to the Hardline. Medically retired Special Forces Green Beret, founder of the Warrior Angels Foundation, an organization solely dedicated to stop veterans' deaths from PTSD, Andrew Marr. Andrew, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much for having us on.
You continue to serve with your work fighting PTSD. 314,000 cases diagnosed since 2000. You've been pretty open about your own battles with PTSD, discussing how there were times when you could not stop crying. Discuss how PTSD has affected your life.
Well, first you have to look at what is PTS and where does that come from? And oftentimes traumatic brain injuries and post-traumatic stress are related. So which one happened first? You have to look at that. With me, it was pretty clear after we got the right treatment, and it was absolutely traumatic brain injuries. Post-traumatic stress, by definition, is a purely psychological condition. So if there is trauma in anybody's timeline, you have a timeline, we go back, okay, yes, we have trauma here. Down the road here, the person starts having decline in cognition, in behavior, in short-term memory, these other areas, anxiety, depression. Is that from just post-traumatic stress, or is that related from traumatic brain injury? So what we found, what science has shown, if you treat the traumatic brain injury effectively, not only will your symptoms from traumatic brain injury improve, your post-traumatic stress symptoms will also improve. Therefore, we now know that majority of the time it is a traumatic brain injury that causes the symptoms of post-traumatic stress.
Well, Andrew, the traditional way we try to fight PTS is psychotherapy and medication. This was not working for you. You started looking for an alternative way to fight this disorder, and literally you went online and you found the Carrick Brain Center. Talk about that process.
Yeah, exactly. I went through every treatment modality within the Department of Defense and was on 13 medications, was now an alcoholic. At one time, I was an elite performer, capable of making life or death decisions. And now, being on 13 medications, my wife's 9 months pregnant, and she asked me if I could just keep my drinking down for the day so she didn't have to drive herself to the hospital. At that point, I said, this is a serious issue. And I'm not going to wait on anybody else to solve the problem. I'm certainly not going to wait on the government to solve the problem. So I went out and I became my own best advocate. That led me to Carrick Brain Center, which was the first part in our treatment mechanism for me that we started to have an improvement. And then that led to me getting introduced to Dr. Gordon, who his protocols are changing the way that we're treating traumatic brain injuries. And when I got treated by Dr. Gordon, by replenishing the steroids, the neurosteroids, the hormones that I was deficient in, I was back like that within a week. And that's the results that we have through the foundation, through the people that we had it. And those are the results that he's shown through 14 years of clinical application through his practice, Millennium Health Centers.
It's just amazing. And in 2014, you start that. I guess it's a 2-week program, 3 treatments a day. You mentioned the steroids. What exactly did you do at the Carrick Brain Center?
Carrick Brain Center is a treatment center that's built for neurofeedback. So they're trying to help you to reconnect and rehardwire, the brain, so to speak. So make new connections and find out specifically what parts of the brain are not talking to other parts of the body like it should be. So through evidence-based diagnostics, we're able to pinpoint and treat the underlying condition. And that's what we're all about, treating the underlying condition. Medication simply masks symptoms, which only further exacerbate the problem.
How can this affect other vets? And obviously, we mentioned the numbers. It's staggering how many people are affected by PTSD. How can we get these results for some of the other vets?
It's simple. An evidence-based diagnostic blood test, all right, to find out what you're deficient or insufficient in as far as your hormonal panel. That has to be done correctly. Then it has to be treated correctly. What the science has shown, and now through our foundation and clinical application of Dr. Gordon's practice, when we do that effectively, the right way, boom, back on. And there's no false hope here. There's no false hope. Everything that we put out is evidenced and science-based.
So it's your feeling that this could affect every veteran out there. The information has to get out, though, and we have to tell other people about the research. Is that the bottom line, Andrew?
That's absolutely the bottom line.
All right. Well, we appreciate, again, your service, and it's fascinating to hear the results and how it's changed your life around. And once again, we hope that more people do the research. It was amazing. This all started with you going online, trying to look for alternative methods. The traditional treatment wasn't working for you. Go ahead.
Send them to the website. Come to our website, warriorangelsfoundation.org. A lot of good information. All our social media, we just put out tons of good information for anybody who's having a problem with head injuries, or they have depression, anxiety, whatever, and they don't know why. Come here, start reading the materials we're putting out. It's going to all start making sense. There is an answer. We're ready to start bringing it to everybody.
All right. Once again, warriorangelsfoundation.org. 22 suicides a day, every day, as a result of PTSD. Andrew Marr, thank you again for coming on today here on Newsmax. And hopefully veterans' issues on the minds of the 2016 presidential candidates may be part of tonight's GOP debate. Now remember, for full analysis, stay with Newsmax TV tonight starting at 11 p.m. Eastern with special guest Governor Mike Huckabee. We're coming right back right here on Newsmax TV.